last day of NADA 2023 here in Dallas, Texas. And for the dealers that did not get a chance to make it to NADA, these segments that I've been doing over the last few days hopefully will give you a little bit of a taste as to what's available to kind of improve the business at your stores. And I'm with Vinnie and Joey at the Market Scan booth. My history with them goes back many, many decades when I worked at a Lexus store in Westport, Connecticut. We used it then, and it was a great tool. Now, decades later, I cannot imagine it's not an even greater tool than it was. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what your company does for those that don't know it and how they would benefit by knowing you?
So absolutely. So hello, everyone from NADA. I'm Vinnie Esposito, and this is Joey Imparato. So our product, if you guys all remember, Lease Profit, we track every parameter, policy, and factor that can influence any transaction. We do that instantly in our new product called MDesking 360. We track all the rates, residuals, money factors, rebates, incentives, stackability, zip code specific taxation based on state, municipality, and locality. We track all the nuances for the dealerships, OEM product, OEM programs, non-captive programs, all of it. Lender, we publish every program. Dealer, each deal's individual package structures and how they want to structure a deal. We can set that all up in the system. And of course, most important, the consumer. We track all the current credit bands and how those are segmented and considered in every OEM and lender program. Now, if you could go ahead and just switch the camera over to the screen there, I'll show you some of the features of MDesking.
Now, if I can jump in here, I just want to say something that what many stores struggle with is their payment accuracy.
Yes, sir.
All right. And this company has a distinction of being the to-the-penny payment.
Well, we are scientifically perfect on every deal structure.
Scientifically perfect.
Perfect solution every time, absolutely.
Because over many decades of being in this business, the frustration is always that you quote a payment and then you go to do the contract and the payment is off by a penny or a couple of cents.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be because, maybe the rebates and incentives weren't applied correctly, or the taxation was not correct, because most people that walk into a dealership know their zip code, but they really don't know what their tax rate in their particular state, municipality, or locality.
Right.
Where our system tracks that by just putting in the customer zip code, because we know that every consumer knows their own zip code.
Right.
And so we can make sure that the taxation is absolutely spot on every deal. And it depends on the state. Some states have in-city taxes, out-city taxes. We track all of that. Take Philadelphia, they have a 3% additional tax in certain parts of Philadelphia and PA, and some don't. So we track all of those nuances so we can make it easy for that dealership to get everything scientifically perfect.
And some of you in the business that are either in the Colorado or have done or shipped cars to Colorado, you know that if you sell somebody a car in Aspen, Colorado, it can be a little challenging with all the different taxes.
Chicago, Illinois, all of that. We track everything.
All right.
Process in 10 minutes. Please keep the eyes around your space free and clear to
Sorry about that, folks, but I just see we're at NADA, and so we have some announcements going on. So, just hold on a second. We'll get it handled for you.
All right. That was the end of that message.
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry about that, folks. But anyway, so let's get back to it. If you could turn around, you'll see our screen again. Now, this is our desking solution, right? It's called MDesking 360. And as you can see, we can structure deals multiple different ways. One of the most popular ways is we can just go ahead and go run scan. We can actually structure this deal based upon a vehicle and not a vehicle in stock. For example, if we don't have a car in stock or a factory located and so on. But we also absolutely can pull down your inventory via flat file, HomeNetDeal.com, and so on. CDK integrations as well. We do integrate with CDK. Well, let's go ahead and just run a quick scan just to show you how quick, simple, and scientifically perfect a scan is. So as you can see, I'm going to go right here to where it says run scan. Right? So here we go. Here's all the manufacturers. Now we can default the system any which way you want.
Sure.
Manufacturers. We could be specific with lenders. We could do all of that as well as default your home state tax and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So as you can see, I'll go ahead and just run a quick Jeep. We'll do a 2023, and we'll do a Grand Cherokee L package. Right, and then of course we have all the trim levels. We track all the different models, Radar, Limited, and so on. But we also have the packages in there, and we also have the model codes for every manufacturer. Whatever it is. And if you're a GM store or a GM dealer, we can actually, track all the rebates and send the VIN specific. So you can put in the VIN number of the vehicle, pull the vehicle from inventory with that VIN, and tell you exactly what the rebates are for that particular vehicle. So let me go ahead and just move back and say, okay, let's go ahead and do that 4x4 limited. I'm going to click on it. Now, here's our parameter screen. We give you base value MSRP, base value invoice. Now, if you want to change any of those numbers, you can on the fly. If we pulled the car out of inventory, that would be specific, right, to what the MSRP invoice. And if there's any ROs posted to the vehicle, that would also display once they're posted in your DMS. So as you can see, I have my MSRP and my invoice. Now, we track deals 4 different ways. The first is profit, right? I can just tell the system, look, make me a certain amount of money, and I just want to structure this deal real quick and see where I'm at. Well, base selling price, which allows you to build a finance reserve. Now, I can default the finance reserve to whatever you want. You want to mark it up 0.5 point, 3/4, 1.2, or whatever you want. Or, if you just want to max out the finance reserve on every lender in the marketplace on that specific vehicle, in that zip code, I just hit the button that says max allowance. Right, and so now you can see true side-by-side comparison. Maximize profit, maximize front end, back end profit, compare negative, because we know all the advanced policies and not need to lend you allow you to go.
Yeah.
And then of course just regular payment scan. But we have something new that's actually more detailed than that payment scan, which I'll show you in a second. Now, remember I said to you folks, we track everything by zip code, right? So as you can see, my system is defaulted to 93012. It tells me exactly what my rate is, and if there was any nuances, if you were able to, cap the taxes or not. But if I change that zip code to my home zip code, now we're in New York, and now we could see that the tax rate has changed tremendously, right? As you can see, it's 8.375.
See, I would have never guessed New York, Vinnie.
Oh, there you go. So now, as you can see, you got figure sales tax in the cap. So in New York, you can figure the sales tax in the cap. Where in California, where we just were, they don't allow you to do that. So the system knows that because of the zip code and all the taxation based on state, municipality, and locality. So I'm going to ask it to go ahead and cap the tax. Now we're going to default all of this information any way you choose. So I have all my information, my taxation. Now I need to go ahead and say, okay, what are my rebates on this car? What? Now, as you can see, we have all the rebates. Now you're going to see different colors there. Obviously, you're going to see the white section, right? These are all the rebates that a consumer must qualify for in order to get that rebate. And if you look on the left-hand side, little magnifying glass, if you want to see what that first-year purchase campaign TDM or the first responder rebate, what that's all about and what you need in order to receive that rebate, I'll click on that little magnifying glass, and here are all the parameters for that rebate on the fly. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, let me go ahead and just cancel out of that real quick, right? Because now I know what the parameters are, but I'm going to go ahead and click on a few of them. Now, in the yellow section, these are all the rebates that everyone qualifies for. It doesn't matter who they are. As you can see, we know our system knows all of that, and it puts it automatically in play. As you can see, it's already up on top where all the rebates are total, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, customer's also Conquest. He's a first responder. He's a first-year repurchase TDM and a hand raiser. So as you can see, I clicked on all these rebates, and this consumer does qualify. However, the manufacturer doesn't allow you to stack the rebates, and it grays out the ones that are not stackable. Right? So if you look up on top, we're tracking Stellantis special programs. Then we're at the Chrysler specials, the Ally specials, the Chrysler standard programs, right? Then, of course, if we move over to the right some more, those are the Ally standard programs, then Stellantis standard programs. And if you look here, where every other bank and stuff, that there is every other lender. For example, U.S. banks of the world, credit unions, all of that are in this particular line. So once you're done with all the rebates that you want to populate, if you go down to where it says apply, I'm going to hit the button that says apply. Once I hit apply, I'm actually putting all those rebates in play based upon the lender and lender program. So now I'm back into my taxation because now I have everything pretty much handled on how I do rebates. So I'm going to put a customer's name in. And so this way, if I need to go back to this deal, I can. Quick add. How much money out of pocket, right? Or if I want to say no money out of pocket, just collect my inceptions. I can do it any way you choose, right? So for this particular case, I'll just go ahead and say just my inceptions. As I go down the line, I'm going to go ahead and tell the system I figure my sales tax in the cap, and I am absolutely ready to calculate this deal. And here's my deal structure. Now, if you look here on the left-hand side, right, each little square represents the term, best lender, best payment. So here's my 36 months, here's my 39 months, here's my 48 months. So as you can see, there's a difference between 36 months and 48 months, 39 months and 48. Payment difference, right? But if you really look, I'm at 36 months, and look at the analytics of our system kicking in. Look at that 24-month link. That's telling you, hey guys, look here, there's a better deal.
And the consumer may not always be aware that, we're conditioned to, 36-month lease term, 39-month lease term, and in this case, 24.
Yeah.
You get them into the car easier, and you get them out of the car easier.
Yeah. So if you get a customer that wants to work the deal at 36 and wants to be at $599, well, Mr. Customer, I can't do that at 36, but I can at 24, right? So now instead of me chopping all that gross, here, I can just take a couple of bucks off here and shorten that term. So think about what that does for CSI. Now, if I have my 24-month program clicked, as you can see on the right-hand side here, you got all the different programs. So the best program for this particular scenario is Ally, right? And as you can see, this is just, you got your payment, then you spread difference between the payment, first payment, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Chrysler is number 12 on the list. So on this particular scenario, in this particular car, it's $113 more expensive per month than the Ally program at 24.
And having this conversation with the customer is powerful because it shows them that you're looking out for their best interest.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now I want, I've decided what I want to do with this deal, and I want to use this Ally program, but I might not want to use the best program. I might want to use number 2, which is, if you look at number 2, it's $18.88 more expensive than number 1. So I want to stop my pencil here if I wanted to. There's just a lot of different ways that you can calculate to handle the customer with this deal. So if I click on that little pencil icon, it's going to open up the pencil, right? So if you give me one more second, we're here at NADA and the internet's a little slow here, so I'm sorry for the extra time that it's taken to calculate the pencil for us.
So 3, so they should still have the internet going.
Yeah. Well, would just get close to closing time, so they probably start shutting everything down.
We're a half hour over.
Yeah.
Oh, it's at 2
We
or 3?
closed it at 2.
Oh, you know what?
They might have closed the internet with it.
Yeah, because it's right at the 2:30 mark.
Just to force people out, force people to break down.
Okay. All right. Well, we understand that technology happens, and we're reliant on Wi-Fi, and they've apparently stopped the Wi-Fi now.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's give it another second. I want to see, because I want to show you guys the M pencil and to print out the menu that you're going to use to close the deal with. You're going to give them the option to close themselves with whatever information that they might require.
Right.
Because our pencil's totally customizable on the fly. It's not a static, it's an analytical pencil, and you can do that. So let me just go ahead and just give me a second, and let me just see if I can get it to.
Yeah. They shut the
internet
connection
down.
off. That's NADA.
Yeah.
So
if you folks would like, I obviously we get together and I'll do a presentation on a web base. If you want me to come into your store, I could do that as well. Our pencil is absolutely phenomenal. We can slice it and dice it as the customer's needs and desires come up. We can give them multiple options. We can give them just the options they want. We can add if they have they have a friend that's a car guru, thinks he's a car guru or she's a car guru, they might say make sure you ask these questions before you buy the car. And it could be residual value, residual percentage, out of pocket rebates, incentives, and all that good stuff. We could put that all on the menu. I mean, it's absolutely totally customizable, and it is phenomenal on how that works, right? So, and then you can roll your payment from anywhere in the system. So if you're in the M pencil side, you can do that as well. And then you can roll it to profit, or you can roll it to to cash out of pocket. I mean, you can do it any way you choose, right? And I'd love to spend a half hour with you on a webinar, when it's convenient for you folks, and show you the product and go from there.
How do they find you, Vinnie?
So I am. My email is Mark V Esposito. So it's VESPOSITO @marketscan.com. My direct cell number is 914-426-2075.
Wonderful. Hey, thank you for sharing. I've known this company for decades. They were great back when I used them. I'm sure they're even better now. Just based on what I saw on the screen, there's a lot of improvements that have gone into the program. So thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thanks, guys.